Hi everyone, welcome to the webinar and workshop series conducted by TCS in lieu of the upcoming OCS exams happening in August 2024. My name is Nick and I'm the lead tutor and evaluator for OCS at TCS. So let's look at the session outcomes. First things first, I'm going to take you through the technicalities behind the OCS exam, thereby providing an overview of the exam, and at the same time I will be highlighting what you need to achieve when it comes to preparing for your upcoming OCS exam. And on top of that, in the second part of today's session, I will be taking you through an 8-week study plan. And if you stick to the study plan, you can easily get everything done. You can easily conduct your preparations in a stress-free environment. So most students, they wait until the last moment or they wait until the last 2 or 3 weeks to start their preparations. Rather than waiting until the last moment, it's best that you start right now. If so, you are expected to just dedicate just 7 hours of study time per week. I will explain all these things when I'm taking you through the 8-week study plan. Okay, so before we get into the nitty-gritties of today's webinar, let me quickly remind you about the upcoming webinars and workshops which we have scheduled for you. So until your exam, you have something like 8 weeks at your disposal. So across these 8 weeks, we are conducting weekly webinars and workshops free of charge. So even if you do not invest on our paid content, make use of these free webinars and workshops which we are conducting, because via these webinars we are highlighting or sharing technicalities which you need to be aware of when conducting your preparations. And on top of that, we are also conducting a workshop series focused on different syllabus areas. So different pillars, the 3 different pillars which are tested at the OCS exam. And I will be taking you through exam standard questions or mock exams as well. So make use of these free resources as well as free webinars and workshops which we are conducting on a weekly basis. And on top of that, on a weekly basis, you have a chance of getting in touch with me. So when conducting your preparations, if you face any difficulty or any issue, you can raise these questions and concerns. I'm always there to help you guys out. So in the second webinar, which is happening on Sunday, the 23rd of June, I will be taking you through the pre-scene document partially, thereby highlighting the internal dynamics of Canon on which this time's pre-scene is based on. And I will also highlight in the second webinar, I will also highlight what you need to do when it comes to pre-scene application, because if you can relate to the pre-scene when developing your answers, then you can gain additional marks. So I will teach you how to do it in the second webinar. And in the third webinar, which is the most important webinar out of the 4 webinars which we have scheduled for you, in answering technique, I will be explaining what you need to do to manage your time appropriately, because most students who sit for OCS exams, they end up failing because they run out of time or they are not too conversant about how to manage time. So I will be teaching you how to manage your time. And on top of that, I will be highlighting an answering technique. And after teaching these things, I will also show you how to implement these techniques in the most practical manner, or in the most efficient manner rather, by taking you through an answer plan which we have developed for you based on the free mock exam which we have already shared with you. So the answering techniques as well as time management techniques will be covered within the third webinar. And in the fourth webinar, exam prep, I will be taking you through examiner's comments, because it's of utmost importance that you understand what's expected from you by listening to the CIMA examiner. So I will be taking you through these comments. And on top of that, I will also highlight what you need to do to develop a high level of confidence before finalizing your preparations focused on your OCS exam. And as I mentioned earlier, via the 3 workshops which we are conducting, I will take you through questions pertaining to E1, F1, and P1 syllabi, at the same time highlighting how and what you need to do when it comes to tackling these type of questions focused on each syllabus area. And in the final workshop, which happens 2 or 3 days before your exam, I will be sharing last minute tips with you with the intention of ensuring that you walk into the exam as a confident individual, because as per the CIMA examiner, if you're confident, chances of you passing your OCS exam is extremely high. So with that in mind, I will be highlighting these tips or sharing these tips, last minute tips with you via the final workshop. So make sure to attend these webinars and workshops without fail on a weekly basis, so that you can get in touch with me as well as gain a lot of information about your OCS exam. Okay, so first things first, talking about the OCS exam, how would you, end up at the OCS exam? There are a set of students coming through the CIMA general route. If so, you would have completed your E1, F1 and P1 OTQs. So because of that, you are extremely conversant with, since you have passed your OTQ exams, you should be extremely conversant with the theoretical elements. And since the OCS exam is a highly theoretical examination, you will find the OCS exam to be quite easy. And looking at the other set of students coming through something called the FLP, or the Finance Leadership Program, this is an exemption route. And if you're coming through this exemption route, since you have not completed your OTQs pertaining to E1, F1 and P1 syllabi, you need to really work a bit harder than the other set of students who are coming through the general route, with the intention of learning or improving your theoretical knowledge, especially focused on P1 and F1 syllabi. So you would have come through the FLP route and landed at the OCS exam based on your work experience, or based on some type of a bachelor's program which you have followed so far. Usually what I encounter is, when dealing with students coming through the exemption routes, they are not too conversant with P1 and F1 syllabi. Mind you, your OCS exam is focused on P1 and F1 syllabi. 80% of the questions which are thrown at you will be based on P1 and F1. So if you're not too conversant with your P1 and F1, then you cannot pass this exam. So you'd have to work a bit harder than the normal students who are coming through the general route. However, you need not worry. We at TCS, we have developed a special set of study program, or we have developed a special set of resources with the intention of ensuring that you learn theory as well as improve your application skills within just 8 weeks. Okay, so once I take you through the study plan, you understand what I'm talking about. Okay, so looking at the exam, it's a PC-based examination. You can attempt it at an examination center, or if you can attempt it at home as well. However, if you are experiencing internet issues or power cuts and whatnot, if you're facing technical issues, or if your laptop or your computer is not working properly, I will ask you not to attempt your exam at home, because I've dealt with so many students who face technical difficulties at the exam. Then it throws you off your exam strategy. So I do not want you to face these type of inefficiencies. If you face these issues, then it's prudent to attempt the exam at an examination center rather than at your home. And the time allocation is 3 hours. Your paper is divided into 4 main tasks. So the time allocation for each task is 45 minutes. So once you had completed one task, you cannot go back to it, because the system locks you out. So it's as if you are responding to an email which you have received from one of your managers at your organization. So let's assume you are done with the first 45 minutes, or in other terms, you are done with the first task. Once the time expires, the first 45 minutes expire, you will be directed to the second task. You cannot go back to task number 1. So when it comes to managing your time and developing your answers, you should not focus on 3 hours at a stretch. Instead, you should focus on 4 slots of 45 minutes each. So in the third webinar, answering technique, I will explain what you need to do when it comes to developing your answers and managing your time in 4 45-minute slots. and the pass mark is 80 out of 150 or 54%. So your paper is marked out of 100 marks. Although you receive marks out of 150, your paper is marked out of 100 marks. CIMA utilizes a weighing system based on a bell curve. They are not sharing these weightages with any of the tutors, and on top of that, these weightages change all the time based on how hard each variant is or how hard each question is. So because of that, there's absolutely no point of trying to understand how this bell curve works or how this weightage or this weighing system works. Instead, it's better to focus on the mark allocations, which are based on 150 marks. So in order to pass, you need to score 80 marks or 54%. Okay, so digging deeper into the exam, information is provided about a fictitious company in advance via something called a pre-seen document. You would have already seen the pre-seen document because the pre-seen which was utilized for the exams which were conducted in May last month, the same pre-seen is used for the sessions happening in August as well. So within this pre-seen, if you had already gone through the pre-seen, you would have understood that the pre-seen document is divided into 4 main elements. In the first part, the examiner is giving you an introduction about the chosen company. And in the second part, the examiner talks about the industry in which your chosen company operates. And in the third part, the examiner talks about the internal dynamics, primarily talking about what happens within different departments of your chosen company. And in the fourth and final part, the examiner has provided the financial statements of your chosen company with the intention of ensuring that you go through these financial statements and gain a good understanding about the financial standing of your chosen company. So you need to be really conversant with what's highlighted within the pre-seen document. And on top of that, via the pre-seen document, the examiner will highlight certain strengths of the company as well as weaknesses. And based on these strengths and weaknesses of the company, questions will be thrown at you at your real exam. And on top of that, the examiner also provides hints about what type of scenarios can be tested at your real examination. So all these things are hidden within the pre-seen document, and with the intention of ensuring that you really understand what's highlighted within the pre-seen document, we have developed something called an annotated pre-seen. So this is what I'm talking about. This is the pre-seen document which was released for a previous case study, and it's the same case study, but we have come up with our own tutor annotations with the intention of ensuring that your life becomes easy, because rather than having to go through 25 to 30 pages and trying to realize or understand the tips provided by the examiner, the strengths of the company and the weaknesses of the company, we have made your life easy by coming up with some tutor notation. So these are actually these points actually summarizes the entire pre-seen document. And on top of that, as part of these annotations, we are also highlighting the type of scenarios which can be thrown at you at your real exam. And on top of that, we are also highlighting the type of syllabus areas which can be tested at your examination. So if you go through this entire pre-seen document, you can see that we have come up with a summary. So if you go through these points, it makes your life easy when it comes to remembering what's highlighted within the pre-seen document, the strengths of the company, as well as the weaknesses. So that's exactly what you can see when going through this entire pre-seen document. You simply need to go through these points. Okay, so that's what's necessary for you to understand your pre-seen. And in the exam, you are required to address issues or questions relating to the operations of the company. And when developing your answers, you need to show to the examiner that you are conversant with what happens within your chosen company. So from where can you gain this information? From the annotated pre-seen. So when developing your answers, you need to show to the examiner that you are conversant about what happens within your chosen company. And on top of that, you need to show to the examiner that you have learned your E1, P1, and F1. So if there is a question about variance analysis, if you are clueless about variance analysis, which is highlighted under the P1 syllabus, then you cannot gain any marks for such a question. Additionally, if there's a question about IAS 16 property, plant, and equipment, if you're not too conversant with your F1 syllabus, then you cannot score marks. So the examiner is trying to figure out whether you have learned your theory via after going through your E1, F1, and P1 syllabi. Just because you know theory, you cannot pass this exam. You have to bear that in mind as well. If you want to pass this exam, you need to really work on your application skills. So when developing answers, you need to consider what's highlighted within each scenario, and using your knowledge about the theoretical elements which you have learned, you have to consider what's highlighted within the scenario and develop your answers. So if you provide highly theoretical answers, you are never going to pass the OCS exam. Instead, you have to consider what's highlighted within the scenario and utilizing your theoretical knowledge, develop answers which are totally aligned with what's highlighted within each scenario. You will understand what I'm talking about in depth when I conduct the third webinar, answering technique. And on top of that, when you keep attempting mock exams and when you keep developing answer plans, you will significantly improve your application skills. So you need to work on your knowledge pertaining to E1, F1, and P1 syllabi. And on top of that, you need to work on your application skills. And when developing answers, your answers should be aligned with the internal dynamics of Canon, the company on which this Times Precision is based on. Okay, so that's the overview. And let's look at your role. You are supposed to play the role of a finance officer. So the finance officer is located at the lowest level of the organization. So any given if you consider any given organization, it's divided into three main elements or three main parts if you look at an organization's hierarchy. So at the very top, you get the strategic level. So that's where you find the board members. And at the second level, you get the tactical level or the management level. So that's where you have the middle level management. And at the lowest level, you get operational level employees. So the decisions of the company, the long-term decisions or the strategies of the company are developed at the strategic level at the very top by the board members. And those who are at the lowest level of the organization are involved with implementing these decisions on a daily basis. So the long-term decisions are arrived at by the board members, and your role as a senior finance officer is to implement these decisions on a daily basis. So since you are at the lowest level of the organization, you are involved with the daily running of the company. Because of that, you are not expected to be involved with decision making. Instead, your role is to assist decision makers. So the only type of decisions which you need to take, or the only type of recommendations which you need to provide, are with regards to recommending key performance indicators or KPIs. Other than that, everything else has to do with assisting your decision makers. So as a finance officer, you have to be involved with budgeting. If you are involved with budgeting, you have to be involved with variance analysis. Then you have to be involved with short-term risk management, assisting short-term decision making, handling short-term uncertainties and whatnot. And on top of that, you have to be conversant with different costing systems, especially focusing on digital costing, given the fact that this times Precision is based on a company which is not really digitalized. Canon is not really digitalized. So you have to be conversant about digital costing systems and whatnot. So all these elements are covered within your P1 syllabus. And on top of that, you have to be conversant with what's covered within your F1 syllabus, especially looking at 5 or 6 main IASs and IFRSs. So all these elements are covered within our mock exams. So if you attempt the mock exams, you need not worry about syllabus coverage because all syllabus areas are covered within our mock exams. So theories are heavily tested since you are at the lowest level, since you are involved with the daily running of your company. You have to have a high level of theoretical knowledge, and practical decision making is extremely limited. As I mentioned earlier, you are not expected to be involved with decision making. Instead, your role is to assist decision makers. So before arriving at a decision, your finance manager or some other manager will ask your opinion, and utilizing your theoretical knowledge, you have to come up with the best type of evaluations or suggestions. So theories are heavily tested and practical decision making is extremely limited. So that's exactly why I said, if you're coming through an exemption route, you have to really focus on learning your theory, especially pertaining to P1 and F1 syllabi. So that's your role. Let's look at the to-do list. Okay, so I hope now you know what your OCS exam is about and what you should expect at your examination. So having said that, let's try to figure out what you need to achieve in the upcoming 8 weeks, or what you need to cover when conducting your preparations in the upcoming 8 weeks. So first things first, you need to read the annotated pre-scene, because everything about the company, its industry, as well as the financial statements are provided within the pre-scene document. So you have to really decrypt the pre-scene document. However, as I mentioned earlier, in order to ensure that you do this analysis appropriately, we have developed our own annotated pre-scene, and once you go through this annotated pre-scene, you'd gain a better understanding about what appears, the type of information which appears within your pre-scene document. And then you need to watch the 4 pre-scene analysis videos. So as I mentioned earlier, your pre-scene document is divided into 4 main elements, and focused on each element, we have developed 4 pre-scene analysis videos. And once you watch these videos, you'd gain an in-depth understanding about what's covered within the pre-scene document. So once you watch these 4 videos, you need not do anything else to go through the pre-scene document, or you need not conduct your own evaluations. We have done it for you. And after being conversant with the pre-scene document, you have to practice mock exams. So we have developed 5 exam standard mock exams. Actually speaking, we have developed 6, out of which 1 is free. So you have access to it via our student dashboard. So we have made 1 of our mocks available, freely available, and the other 5 mock exams are provided. Access to the other 5 mock exams are provided under the paid content. So if you are to cover the entire syllabus, you have to practice mock exams. When practicing mock exams, there's absolutely no point of practicing just 1 or 2 mock exams, because if you do, you are testing your luck. Within by attempting just 1 or 2 mock exams, you do not stand a chance to cover the entire syllabus. As I told you earlier, the OCS exam is highly theoretical, and when considering the 3 case studies conducted by CIMA, OCS, MCS, and SCS, OCS has the largest syllabus. So if you are to cover the entire syllabus, you have to attempt 5 exam standard and pre-scene specific mock exams. And then you need to attend the live webinars and workshops. And why am I asking you to attend these webinars and workshops? Because on a weekly basis, you can keep track of your performance. You can keep track of whether you are adhering to our study plan. You'd understand how to get this done when I take you through the 8-week study plan. So on a weekly basis, after completing your tasks, attend the webinar or the workshop which is happening, so that you have the chance to get in touch with the tutor. So, when you are moving along with the study plan, you will face issues, you will have doubts. So all these doubts can be cleared by attending these webinars and workshops on a weekly basis. And on top of that, you have to refer to a set of slides as well: industry analysis, financial analysis, top 10 issues, and the theory recaps pertaining to E1, F1, and P1 syllabi. So these industry analysis slides are developed with the intention of ensuring that you gain a good understanding about your chosen industry. So let me quickly show you the type of industry analysis slides you'd get your hands on. Mind you, these set of slides were prepared for a previous case study. And once you invest on our paid content, you would gain access to the same a similar set of industry analysis slides. So our industry analysis slides consist of 4 main elements. We have provided an overview to the industry. Then we have highlighted the competitive landscape, highlighting about the type of competition out there. And we have also highlighted the trends which will impact your industry. And it's prudent to understand these trends, because based on these trends, scenarios will be developed at your real examination. And at the very end, real world examples based on 2 real life companies are also provided. So once you go through these set of slides, you can easily understand, you'd gain an understanding about your chosen industry. So you need not do any research about the industry. We have done it for you. And taking you through the financial analysis slides, as I mentioned earlier, at the very end of your pre-seen document, 3 different financial statements are provided. So each financial statement has been evaluated, and when conducting evaluations, we have kept things simple so that you can easily understand what appears within each financial statement. So that's exactly what you can see here. All 3 financial statements had been evaluated, and this is followed by a ratio analysis. So all these ratios, again, we have evaluated them, yet we have kept things simple so that you can understand what's highlighted within these set of slides. Because as a finance officer, you have to be conversant about the financial standing of the company. So having access to these set of slides is the best way to understand what happens within your company in a financial sense. So you have to go through these set of slides, then watch the 20 pre-recorded masterclasses. So if you are a student who is coming through the CIMA general route, since you have already completed your E1, F1 and P1 syllabi, you need not have access to these master classes. However, if you're coming through an exemption route, it's mandatory that you gain access to these master classes. So when developing these master classes, what we have done is, as I mentioned earlier, we have developed 5 mock exams. So in each mock exam, there are 4 tasks, just like in your real exam. So 4 tasks into 5 mock exams come up to 20 tasks in total. So focused on each task, we have developed a masterclass. And via this masterclass, whilst taking you through the logic of the answer, we are teaching you theory and application skills. So as I mentioned earlier, if you are not too conversant with your P1 and F1 syllabi, and on top of that, if you're clueless about how to apply your knowledge when developing answers, then you cannot pass this OCS exam. So most students who are coming through the exemption route are clueless about most elements which are covered within P1 and F1 syllabi. And on top of that, they are clueless about how to apply their knowledge. So with the intention of overcoming this knowledge gap, we have developed these master classes. So as I mentioned earlier, when developing each master class, we have made sure to cover the logic of each answer, at the same time teach you the relevant theoretical element which is tested in the question, as well as highlighting how to apply your knowledge. So you have to watch these 20 pre-recorded master classes as well. And on top of that, you have to refer to the answer plans of all 5 mock exams which we have developed. Actually speaking, with the free mock exam, there are 6 mock exams in total. So focused on all these 6 mock exams, we have developed something called an answer plan. So let me quickly show you what this answer plan looks like. So, when it comes to developing your answers, you need to stick to some type of a strategy, because right after reading through the scenario, if you try to type out your fully fledged answer, you will waste a lot of time. You are not spending some time to plan your answer. So at your real examination, the CIMA examiner is trying to replicate a real life corporate environment. So it's as if you receive an email from your finance manager or some other type of a manager who is working within Canon. So before you develop a response, let's assume you receive an email at work. Before you respond to this email, what will you do? You will spend some time to structure your email. You will spend some time to think and identify whether you have covered everything which is highlighted within the email which you just received. And on top of that, you try to structure it appropriately so that your manager is in a position to easily understand what's highlighted within your response. So you need to adhere to a similar approach when developing your answers. So that's exactly why you need to spend some time to develop something called an answer plan, or this is a structure. And once you have the structure at your disposal, you can easily expand it, thereby coming up with your fully fledged answer. So I will teach you how to do this. I will teach you how to develop answer plans and manage your time appropriately in the third webinar. So the same methodology should be practiced over and over again when attempting each of your mock exams. And after attempting each mock exam, you need to go back and refer to these answer plans and see whether there are any gaps in the way in which, or whether there are any discrepancies in the way in which you have developed your answer or structured your answer relative to the answer structures or answer plans which we have shared with you. Okay, so this is and it makes your life easy when it comes to understanding or improving your theoretical knowledge, because these are good study summaries. So rather than going through pages and pages of suggested answers and trying to understand the logic behind each answer, simply go through the set of answer plans to understand how to structure your answers. So you'd gain you have to refer to these answer plans of the 6 mock exams when conducting your preparations. And on top of that, you have to refer to personalized tutor feedbacks which we provide from mock 3 onwards. So the first 2 mock exams are there to get your bearings with the answering and time management techniques, because in order to stick to these answering and time management techniques which we are teaching you in the third webinar, you need to practice it. Just because you know these techniques, you cannot get it right. You need to keep practicing these things, especially with regards to managing your time. So that's exactly why we are not providing tutor feedback for the first 2 mock exams, but from mock 3 onwards, you will receive tutor feedback. And this is the type of feedback which we offer at TCS. As you can see, on a paragraph by paragraph basis, we provide tutor feedback. And if there are major shortcomings, we highlight them as tutor notes as well. So throughout this answer script, you can see the type of feedback which we provide at TCS. And at the very end, mark allocations are provided on a subtask by subtask basis. And on top of that, you can see a success rate in here as well. The success rate indicates the subtasks in which your performance was substandard. So after attempting each mock exam, you are expected to redevelop the answer plans focused on the subtasks in which your performance was low. That's the best type of revision you have to be involved with, and that's the best approach to significantly improve your answer plans, as well as significantly improve your theoretical knowledge. And general comments are also provided at the very end with the intention of ensuring that you further improve the performance before you attempt your next mock exam. Okay, so you need to get all these things done before your examination date. You might think that there's a lot on your plate. However, you need not worry. We have made things easy. We have made your life easy because we have covered most of these elements via the study material which we provide. You just need to adhere to our study plan. If so, you can get all these things done in a stress-free environment. Okay, so having said that, before we move on to the 8-week study plan, let me quickly tell you what we offer at TCS. So I'm on the OCS page of our website. So click on this button to check the free content. Via the free content, you would gain your hands on the recorded versions of the webinars and the workshops which we conduct. And on top of that, you'd gain your hands on the free mock exam, its suggested answer, and the answer plan. And let me quickly show you another free material which we provide. Go to the exams tab. Once you create an account, you'd gain access to the OCS free content. As I've told you earlier, you'd gain access to the recorded versions of the webinars and the workshops, which we are planning to conduct in the future. And on top of that, you'd get the answer plan of the free mock exam and the OCS free mock, its question, as well as the answers. So mind you, this is a full mock exam which consists of 4 tasks in total, just like in your real examination. And on top of that, go to the exams tab and click on this word OCS free, so that you can attempt the free mock exam under exam conditions via our exam platform. I do not want you to attempt the free mock right now. After taking you through the 8-week study plan, I'll tell you when you are supposed to attempt this free mock exam via the exam platform. That's the best way to get your bearings with exam stress, and at the same time, that's the best way to implement answering and time management techniques and see whether you are in a position to adhere to these techniques without any issues. Okay, so I'll tell you when to attempt the free mock exam after I take you through the 8-week study plan. So click on this button, create a free user account so that you can access the free content. And if you are interested in investing on the paid content, click on the button and sample material pertaining to the different type of resources which we share with you. You can access everything to see the quality of the services which we offer. And if you are yet to join the OCS WhatsApp discussion forum, simply click on this button and join it, because via the WhatsApp discussion group, we are sharing free material. And on top of that, you have access to me. And if you have any questions or concerns, you can raise these questions on the WhatsApp group. And I'm always ready to help you guys out. And on top of that, you can engage with group learning via the WhatsApp discussion forum as well. So having said that, let me talk about the 2 main packages which we offer. We offer the value pack, which is designed for students who are coming through the CIMA general route. So since you have already completed your OTQ exams, you need not do anything to learn theory, because you are already conversant with theory. You simply need to work on your application skills. So if you invest on the value pack, you'd get your hands on the recordings of all webinars and workshops which we conduct. You'd also gain access to the 5 mock exams with suggested answers. So as I told you earlier, when developing these mock exams, we have made sure to cover the entire syllabus so that you are not testing your luck at your real examination. And you'd also gain access to the 4 pre-scene analysis videos and the annotated pre-scene. You'd gain access to the industry analysis and financial analysis slides as well. You saw what this material looked like a while back. You'd also gain access to the top 10 likely issues, a case study familiarization kit. After going through this familiarization kit, within 10 to 15 minutes, you'd be totally conversant with the technicalities behind your OCS exam. Then you'd gain access to the tutor managed live chat and the OTQ revision cards. So after attempting each mock exam, if you feel that your answer was not up to the required level of standard, or if you feel that you had, you cannot remember one of the syllabus areas which you have learned when completing your OTQ exams, simply refer to these OTQ revision cards to brush up your knowledge focused on the relevant syllabus area. So the value pack is priced at £199. And talking about the premium package, this is designed for students who are coming through an exemption route such as FLP. So as I told you earlier, if you are coming through FLP, you need to focus your attention towards learning theory and improve application skills. And with that in mind, we have developed the premium package. So the premium package comes with everything which is covered under the value pack. Additionally, you'd gain access to the online mock exam platform. Via this platform, you have the possibility of attempting all our mock exams under exam conditions. So as I mentioned earlier, if you are to pass the OCS exam, you have to master the answering and time management techniques and you have to be conversant with exam stress. And when you have the chance to attempt all mock exams via our exam platform, you will be totally comfortable by the time you are attempting your real examination. So as I mentioned earlier, you need to keep practicing your answering and time management techniques in order to get them right. And having access to the online mock exam platform will help you structure your answers appropriately, at the same time manage your time at your real exam. And on top of that, you'd gain access to one-on-one tutor feedback on mocks 3, 4, and 5. I showed you the type of feedback which we provide at TCS. And if you're coming through an exemption route, you definitely need tutor feedback to understand your shortcomings, because if you understand your shortcomings, you can avoid these issues at your real exam. And you'd also gain access to the answer plans of all mock exams, so that you'll be conversant with how to structure your answers appropriately. This also comes with 20 master classes. Most students who are coming through exemption routes, they need to learn their theory as well as they improve application skills. And as I mentioned earlier, we have developed the 20 master classes with this in mind. And via these master classes, whilst taking you through the logic of each answer, we are teaching you theory and application skills. And once you have access to all these material, you will pass for sure. So that's exactly why we are providing a pass guarantee for the premium package. However, in order to claim the pass guarantee, you have to complete these 3 requirements. So what this pass guarantee entails is, if you end up on investing on the premium package, yet if you fail the examination, you will gain access to the premium package in your subsequent sitting free of charge. However, you need to complete these 3 requirements in order to claim the pass guarantee. So you have to complete all mock exams. Without completing all mock exams, you are not in a position to ensure that you have covered the entire syllabus. So if just by attempting 2 or 3 mock exams, you cannot claim the pass guarantee, because you have not conducted your preparations fully. And your solutions need to be original. So when attempting each of your mock exams, you have to make sure that you attempt it fresh without going through the answer plans, the suggested answers, or the master classes, because the mock exams are there to test your knowledge as well as test your answering technique, test your time management techniques. So there's absolutely no point if you try to cheat the system by going through the answers before attempting each mock exam. So you have to ensure that your answers are original. And on top of that, you have to meet the performance criteria for mocks 3, 4, and 5. You need to get 40% or higher. We have come up with this criteria with the intention of ensuring that you are serious when attempting your mock exams, especially mocks 3, 4, and 5, because you are getting tutor feedback. So once you have completed all these 3 requirements, there's absolutely no way that you'd fail your OCS exam. So that's exactly why we are providing a pass guarantee for the premium package. Okay. So, and if you want to, share information about the type of services as well as the webinars and whatnot which we offer, you can share the link of this website with your friends and ask them to register for the OCS webinars and the workshop series. All right. So having said that, let me remind you about the important dates which you have to be conversant about. If you are planning on attempting your OCS exam in August, your exam entry closes on the 23rd of July. So you have to book your exam before Tuesday, the 23rd of July, and your exam dates are spread across the 7th of August up until the 9th of August. Okay, so having said that, let's move on to the 8-week study plan, which can be accessed via the website itself. So, so let's look at what you need to do in your upcoming 8 weeks. So this is week number 1. You are in week number 1. The weekly study hours allocated is 8 hours. So you have already completed the first requirement. You have attended the first webinar, which is good. Congratulations. And you have to refer to the OTQ theory revision, theory recaps, with the intention of revising your theoretical knowledge within this week. And you have to go through the OCS familiarization kit. So this week is dedicated towards brushing up your theoretical knowledge and getting your bearings with the OCS exam and understanding how the CIMA examiner is conducting this exam and what type of areas you need to be conversant with when conducting your preparations. So things not too serious within this week. You simply need to go through the OTQ theory recaps and the OCS familiarization kit. Then looking at week number 2, the second week is dedicated towards the pre-scene document. So first things first, you need to attend the webinar pre-scene analysis. Then you'd understand how to use your pre-scene document. Then you have to watch the pre-scene analysis videos, 4 videos in total, with the intention of understanding the nitty-gritties highlighted within your pre-scene document. Then refer to the annotated pre-scene on your own and refer to the industry and financial analysis slides. So the second week, as I told you earlier, is dedicated towards the pre-scene document. And from week 3 onwards, you have to start attempting mock exams. So as I mentioned earlier, do not wait until the last 2 or 3 weeks to start preparations. Instead, start right now. If so, you will have enough and more time to conduct your revision closer to the exam. So in week number 3, you are supposed to attend webinar 3, answering technique. So in the third webinar, you will learn how to structure your answers and how to manage your time appropriately. And once you are conversant with these technicalities, you have to put this knowledge into test by attempting the first mock exam via the exam platform. So put answering and time management techniques into test when attempting the first mock exam. Once you're done with the first mock exam, watch the 4 masterclasses so that you gain an understanding about the type of answers which you should have developed when attempting your mock exam. So after attempting each mock exam, you are supposed to watch the masterclasses to learn theory and improve your application skills. And in week number 4, you have to adhere to a similar approach, attend the webinar, weekly webinar, then attempt mock number 2 via the exam platform, thereby practicing answering and time management techniques. After you are done with the mock attempt, watch the 4 masterclasses to learn theory and improve application skills. And from week 5 onwards, you will receive tutor feedback. So from week 5 onwards, we are conducting the workshop series. So within these workshops, I will explain how each syllabus area is tested and what type of answers you are supposed to develop focused on each syllabus area. So that's exactly what you can see in here. Q&A workshop, which is focused on E1, is happening in week number 5. After attending this Q&A workshop, you are supposed to attempt mock number 3. Then refer to personalized tutor feedback for mock number 3, which you'd receive within 48 hours of you completing mock number 3. So you can gain access to the exam platform as well as tutor feedback within our student dashboard itself. So once you are done with the mock exam, you will receive tutor feedback within 48 hours. And after receiving tutor feedback, you are expected to watch the 4 masterclasses to learn theory and improve application skills. So you need to adhere to a similar approach in weeks 6 and 7 as well. And by the end of week 7, you would be done with all our mock exams. And in week number 8, this is a week before your exam, you are supposed to attend the final workshop where I'll be highlighting or sharing last minute tips with you. Then simply refer to the answer plans of all the mock exams. With the free mock exam, there are 6 mock exams in total. So you are supposed to simply refer to the answer plans of all 6 mock exams. So once you do it, it's as if you are going through the entire syllabus once more. And on top of that, you are getting conversant with how to structure your answers appropriately. And you have to reread the annotated pre-scene and stop preparations a day prior to the exam. Sleep, eat, and rest well. So you might think that I'm stupid to ask you to, finish all your preparations a day prior to the exam. It's best that you, conduct all your preparations and take a break a day before your exam. So if your exam is on the 8th of August, you have to stop all your work by the 6th of August, take a day off on the 7th, relax, because it's of utmost importance that you relax your brain as well as you relax physically, because when you are relaxing both mentally and physically, it will help you immensely at your real examination. So most students out there, 90% of the students, I'd say actually 99% of the students out there, they wait until the last moment to start preparations. So because of that, they just have 2 or 3 weeks at their disposal. So when you have just 2 or 3 weeks, you cannot attempt all mock exams. So because of that, you'd end up attempting just 1 or 2 mock exams. And if so, you are not in a position to cover the entire syllabus, because you cannot cover the entire syllabus within 1 or 2 or maybe 2 or 3 mock exams. So don't wait until the last moment. And if you wait until the last moment, you will be exposed to a lot of stress, because you have to balance your work. You might be running your own business, you might be working at a given company, so you have to manage your work as well as studies. And when there's a lot of stress, you cannot get anything done properly. So rather than waiting until the last moment, start now itself. If so, you just need to allocate 7 hours of study time on a weekly basis. You will be attempting a mock exam on a weekly basis. If so, you will have enough and more time to focus on each mock exam and conduct your revision. Let's assume you attempt mock number 1 in the 3rd week. After attempting mock number 1, after watching the master classes, if you feel that you need to rework on your answering technique, you have enough and more time to redevelop answer plans. So on a weekly basis, you will have enough and more time to keep improving your techniques. If so, you will comfortably pass your OCS exam. So when all the other students are scrambling for time a week before the exam, you are relaxing. You are not attempting any mock exams. You are simply referring to the answer plans of all the mock exams and rereading the annotated pre-scene. So when all the others are scrambling for time, when all the other students are under extreme levels of exam stress, you are relaxing. Because of that, you'd easily pass your OCS exam. So simply stick to our study plan. You saw the to-do list which you need to complete. There was a long list of activities which you need to complete. However, you can now see, after I've taken you through the weekly study plan, on a weekly basis, you just need to allocate 7 hours of study time per week. Everything else is handled by us. So how are you supposed to implement this? So let's assume on a weekly basis, you focus on, starting preparations every Tuesday. Leave out Monday, because Mondays are usually hectic in the corporate sector. So start preparations from Tuesday. Okay, so let's assume you on Tuesday, you attempt a mock exam. On Wednesday, watch the master classes to learn theory and improve application skills. By Thursday, you will receive tutor feedback. Then you'd realize what your shortcomings are. Then you'd realize the subtasks in which your performance was substandard. And on Thursday, redevelop answer plans focused on the subtasks in which your performance was low. And on Saturday, attend the weekly webinar. So if you stick to our study plan, you just need to work across 3 days per week. On Tuesday, attempt the mock exam. On Wednesday, watch the master classes. On Thursday, go through tutor feedback to understand your shortcomings. And on Thursday itself, redevelop answer plans. And once you do that, you can dedicate your weekends towards spending time with family. I know for a fact that you'd be involved with cooking as well as doing your laundry during the weekends. So you can enjoy your weekends rather than, being bogged with, CIMA related work when you have to work your ass off during the weekdays at your office. So simply stick to our study plan. If so, you just need to allocate 7 hours of study time, and you just need to work across 3 days per week. Everything else is handled by us. And if you do so a week before your exam, you will be relaxing when all the other students will be under extreme levels of exam stress. So that's our 8-week study plan. And by adhering to this study plan, so many students have excelled easily and achieved first-time passes, even when coming through exemption routes. For instance, this student who achieved 103 marks, as I told you earlier, you just need to score 80 marks to pass, but this student ended up scoring 103 marks. And most of our students who stick to the study plan end up gaining more than 100 marks. So that's exactly why our pass rate is extremely high. We achieved a 93% pass rate for the February 2024 sitting. And, we have developed or produced some rankers as well, national rankers in the year 2022. So simply stick to the study plan, allocate 7 hours of study time per week, work across, simply 3 days. If so, you will gain more than 100 marks easily at your OCS exam. All right, so if you have any questions, you can raise these concerns now. I'm going to pause the recording. Folks, thank you very much for those questions. I hope I addressed everything. And I think I missed out on, saying or mentioning the price of the premium package. The premium package is priced at £649, which can be paid in 2 installments of £324 each. Or if you opt to pay in full, you can save £100 and the price will be just £549. So you can click on either of these buttons and, select your preferred study package. Okay, so if you want to contact us, you can contact us via our website, which is www.study@tcs.com. So simply click on the contact button and then you'd be directed to the get in touch area. So, raise your question here itself and our admin staff will get in touch with you within 24 hours. And you can email us at info@study@tcs.com or WhatsApp us on this number. So on top of that, I want you guys to follow us on our social media handles, especially YouTube and TikTok, because the recorded versions of the webinars and workshops will be uploaded onto our YouTube channel. And on top of that, via TikTok, you will gain access to a good summary of the entire pre-scene. I will share the links to them, to these TikTok videos via our WhatsApp group. So these are good study summaries. So within 6 to 7 minutes of your time, you can go through these 3 TikTok videos which we have developed, which is a good mind map of the entire pre-scene. We have highlighted the most important points which are highlighted within the pre-scene document within these 3 videos. So on a daily basis, until the day of your exam, keep watching these 3 TikToks over and over. It just takes 6 to 7 minutes of your time. So keep watching these TikToks over and over. Then you need not do anything else to remember what's highlighted within the pre-scene document. So these services are provided free of charge. Make sure to use them for your benefit. So the concluding thought is to approach OCS as an opportunity to learn rather than an exam to pass. So having said that, it brings us to the end of today's webinar. I hope you gain something out of this, and I hope to see you in the next webinar, the second webinar, pre-scene analysis, which will be conducted next Sunday. And after attending the webinar, you'd know what to do, how to handle or how to utilize the annotated pre-scene. And I hope you'd stick to the study plan which we have provided. And according to the study plan, within this week, go through the OCS familiarization kit and the revision cards. And from next week and in the next week, you should focus on your pre-scene document. So thank you very much for joining. I will see you guys next Sunday. Take care.